Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. Please stand to welcome the Discovery College class of 2018. Joining us to celebrate the graduation of the class of 2018. I'm very pleased to welcome our distinguished guests from the School Council, Mr. Paul McMaster, Mr. Kevin Ridyard, also a teacher of course, and Ms. Amy Freed, also a member of staff. From the PTA, we have Ms. Santa Harris, Ms. Jane Robbins, and Ms. Elizabeth Hennings. And from the ESF Centre, we have Ms. Kirsty Wild, who is no stranger to most of you because she was your Dean in Year 10 and your NYP Coordinator in Year 11. So it's nice that she's here with you this evening. And all of our special guests, from the youngest to the oldest, are most welcome. I warmly welcome parents, guardians, siblings, significant others, and staff to this very special event. But of course, at the very centre of our attention this evening are the graduates themselves. There will be many thank yous this evening for the so many people responsible for the education of these young people. But for now, I would just like to thank a few people who helped to make this ceremony possible. Thank you to our Year 10 student ambassadors. That's Julia Sweetenclef, Gary Kim, Mia Han, Jade Thomas, Sojin Park, Eliza Reese, James Rajat Knight, Connor Booth, Homie Young, and Antoine Al Young, who guided you to the gym and distributed the programs as you arrived this evening. Thanks also to Jackie Line, she's over here, who is taking care of sound this evening. Thank you to Amy Freed, Kenny's Churn, from the communications team, who worked very hard to make this event run smoothly. And thank you to Vienna Chan for designing the tickets and the programs. A beautiful, innovative design, I'm sure you will agree. Thank you to Claire Fraser, who will be taking photographs, and to Chartwells, who are providing the food for us this evening at the reception afterwards. A special thank you to Don Croucher and all the facility staff who have helped to set up this event and who, of course, will have to clear up afterwards. In particular, I would like to say a very heartfelt thank you to the PTA, who are funding the drinks at the reception after the ceremony. The PTA really are pillars of the community, and we all are very grateful for everything that they do. So after the ceremony this evening, there will be a reception in the dance studio in the lower ground floor. We hope that you will all be able to join us. Drinks will be served by PTA members and also parents of some Year 12 students who are paying it forward. Next year, they will be able to relax and watch their children graduate in the class of 2019. Before you leave the gym, you might wish to take some photos of your children and the family, and perhaps in front of the banners that are set up over there and here at the side of the gym before heading down to reception while they still have their gowns and hats on. Now, ESF Centre have kindly donated to each graduate across all ESF schools this year one copy of the special commemoration book marking the 50th anniversary of ESF. So each family is welcome to take one book from the table, which is set up just over here near the door as you leave after the ceremony. Nice little memento of the occasion. I hope that you enjoy this ceremony that will mark the transition of the class of 2018 from students to alumni. It will feature speeches, musical performances, and of course, the presentation of the graduation certificates. Now, exactly 1 year ago, a graduate of the class of 2017 gave me a lovely card, and it contained a beautiful line that struck me with great force. And it was this: the person walking in for the first time could not even have imagined the person that has just walked out. I knew straight away when I read this that I would start this year's graduation speech with that line, and I have continued to reflect on this statement throughout the last year. I invite all of you to cast your minds back to the moment that you first walked into Discovery College. What were your thoughts and feelings? What were you scared of? What did you hope for? What kind of person were you at that time? Now, think about the person you are today. What transformation has taken place? And think about the process you have gone through, which has turned you from a child, dependent on others, into an adult, ready to go out into the world and embrace all the opportunities of life beyond school. This process is, of course, what we in the trade call education. Your IB education here at Discovery College has supplied you with many things: knowledge, skills, attitudes, and dispositions, all of which help form the person that you are now. As you stand on the threshold of a particularly big transition in your lives, leaving the safe confines of school, I would encourage you to cultivate 3 qualities in particular that I believe are very important for success in life. The first of these qualities is to be focused on ideas. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, great minds discuss ideas. We have done everything we can to ensure that your great minds have focused on ideas. In all your subjects, the PYP exhibition, personal project, extended essay, TOK, CAS, No Boundaries, CCAs, and all other activities that made up your educational journey. The emphasis on exploring and challenging ideas, rather than being spoon-fed information and told what to think, means that you are ready for what lies beyond graduation. The sharing of ideas is not a zero-sum game. If I give you some water, well, you've gained some water, but I have lost some. But if I light your candle with my candle, you have gained light, but I have not lost any. the total amount of light in the world has increased to the benefit of all. Education is not the filling of a bucket, but the lighting of a fire, according to Yeats. I encourage you, therefore, to always be ready to share the light of your ideas with others and to accept other people's ideas with an open mind. That being said, if you live in a world of pure thought, consisting only of ideas, well, nothing useful will ever get done. So, the second quality I encourage you to develop is pragmatism. I completely agree that it's very important to set your sights firmly on excellence, even perfection. But as Voltaire succinctly put it, the perfect is the enemy of the good. As you learn at 3:14 p.m. on Friday 17th of November in the Diploma Centre, your extended essay, as it stood, just had to be good enough, and you had to hand it in and move on to the next task. It would never be perfect, but it didn't have to be. It just had to be good. I hope that you will take forward into life the important lesson that there comes a point when you have to stop tinkering with the recipe and just cook the meal. Now, gaining and understanding ideas and putting them into practice through taking action is not an easy task. To do this well and do it consistently, you need to cultivate a third important quality, and that is perseverance. In order to complete the IB diploma, you had to regularly do things that you probably didn't feel like doing at the time. For example, studying for tests. However, when those final exams came around, you most likely felt the benefit of every hour that you spent grappling with the ideas and concepts studied in your subjects, and felt grateful that you had made the sacrifice. I'll now share a final piece of advice provided by William James. Do every day one or two things for no other reason than that you would rather not do them. Thus, when the hour of darkness comes, it will not find you unprepared. Now, having watched you grow and develop over just the final 2 years of your educational journey, I can guarantee you that you, the class of 2018, are ready for whatever challenges you decide to take on. Whenever an hour of darkness does come to you, you will be equipped with light from the candles of your ideas, the pragmatism to put your ideas into action, and the perseverance to always keep moving forward, lighting the way for yourselves and for others as you go. And I would just like to put officially on the record that I am very proud of all of you. Now, it's time to hear some opening remarks from the Head of Secretary, Mr. James Smith.
Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. As he sat expectantly on his balcony waiting for the first suborbital rocket to land on the launch pad in the plaza, Choban gazed at the winter sunset and considered that 2068 had been a rather good year. He had finally retired in a blaze of glory after several decades as photography editor at National Geographic. And with it being almost exactly half a century since his graduation from Discovery College, he felt it entirely appropriate to offer to host the 50-year reunion at his place in DB. He took the seashell out of his ear, patted his mechanical hound on the head, and then proceeded indoors to make the final preparations for the reunion. A number of guests had had to send their apologies. Choban had particularly enjoyed the holographic greeting sent by Tai Chi from the moon, where he was competing in the Lunar Open Championship. The golfing community at large had all but decamped to the moon in 2049 when they discovered how far a golf ball would travel in its weak gravitational field. And it remained the case that launching a lunar rover to use up there as a golf cart was still cheaper than buying a license for one in DB. Taichi's 3D greeting came as he was attempting a particularly difficult bunker shot from within a meteor crater in the Sea of Tranquility. The eagle he was hoping for had not landed. By contrast, some guests were able to attend several times over. As human cloning was being perfected in the late 30s, the musical world had spied its opportunity, and so between them, Katie Chen, Gigi Ho, and Jocelyn Tang now comprised the entire London Symphony Orchestra. So several versions of each of them had RSVP'd in the affirmative to this reunion. And as the clock struck 7 p.m, the former classmates began to arrive. First in was Nicola Adcock, now of course the CEO of Adcock Farms, the world's largest strawberry farming operation. Next came Yan Yao Cheng, looking particularly well, though clearly burdened by the weight of the Fields Medal that hung around his neck. After him, wearing, what else, an inch-perfect three-piece suit, arrived world-famous magician Nacho Narciso. And after him was film director Cynthia Chen, fresh from her Academy Award win, the winning film, a biopic of top human rights lawyer and fellow reunion attendee Cherie Ho and her battle to prosecute One Direction for crimes against humanity. And as they flowed in, the class of 2018, drawn from all walks of life, having come from all four corners of the earth, gathered together to reconnect. And after the former students had taken their places, the guest of honour arrived. Mr. Beach bounded nimbly through the door and was greeted with cheers and hugs. Despite being more than 100 years old, I may not be making this speech next year, advances in bionic technology had meant the possibility of a much extended lifespan, and Mr. Beach had taken full advantage. He had even afforded himself a few bionic upgrades along the way. His right eye now featured an automatic scanner that could detect a student wearing black socks at a distance of 3 kilometres. He was joined by Mr. Smith and Mr. McCann, who likewise walked through the door to warm greetings. Both had likewise benefited from anti-aging technology. Thanks to the cure to male pattern baldness arriving in 2025, Mr. Smith's long, flowing locks were now his most prominent feature, descending as they did below his shoulders, a man can dream. While Mr. McCann's appearance was marked by the matte chrome and flashing circuitry of his robotic legs, the same legs that had recently allowed him to compete for the 34th consecutive time in the Standard Chartered Marathon, though being engineered for distance, they had not proved as useful in the sprint. Nonetheless, as the three elderly educators sat in front of the assembled class of 2018, they found themselves full of questions. What had the alums found surprising about the last 5 decades of their lives that they would not possibly have anticipated on the day of their graduation? The answers here were plentiful. The change in Donald Trump's demeanour during his final year as president, and the fact that he had used his last speech in office to say all those genuinely lovely things about Mexicans. The rise of Luxembourg as a global superpower. The discovery in adulthood that it is possible to arrive at a place of work consistently on or before 8:19 a.m. if one puts one's mind to it, even when one is not in peril of an exit pass confiscation. The startling realisation after their first year at university that TOK now made actual sense. The fact that, of all his remarkable mathematical achievements, the one that had snagged Yan Yao the Fields Medal was his mathematical proof of the multiverse theory, with its concomitant implication that somewhere in the infinite possibilities of time and space, there is a universe in which England are good at cricket. Following this, the trio asked, what has been more predictable or expected about the last half a century? Here the answers were fewer in number, but there were some. Kazuya Kayalu making his first million from cryptocurrency in 2021, and then his second million shortly after from buying a commanding stake in Jeremy Lund's lifestyle brand. Cathay Pacific's move into space tourism. The airline began flights to various destinations in the solar system in the mid-40s. It was essentially the same archetypal Cathay experience, with the exception that it had now become decidedly easier to accrue Asia miles, and people now actually watch the safety video. Ron Cho's successful stint as lead guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne's comeback tour, and his being kicked out in the end by Ozzy because, quote, that guy is just too crazy. And finally, the topic turned to what the alums themselves had learned from their adult lives. What advice would the class of 2018 give themselves, now so much older and wiser, if they could impart their wisdom to their younger selves sitting in that gym at graduation all those years ago? Treasure your parents, said one. They support you through school, they put up with you during your teenage years, and they even pretend to be sad when you move away from home. Appreciate them and spend as much time with them as you can. Thank your teachers, said another. However much pain and anguish went into producing my Langlet Paper 2 trial exam, I can only imagine how much torture was involved in marking it. Make sure you express your gratitude. They'll appreciate it. And what point of advice would be the most telling of all? The type of advice that you might have needed to hear above all else, the type of advice that the head of school should probably have concluded his speech with on that evening in May 2018. The advice I would give my younger self, said one thoughtful alum, is that it will be okay. There are so many reasons that a young person in 2018 might have had to worry about the future, even despite the excitement of graduation and the infinite possibilities the future might seem to hold. In fact, those possibilities and the dilemma of what to do about them might even add to the worry. What path should I take? What if I get it wrong? But at the end of the day, we all found our way here. We all took a different route with different intentions and different outcomes. And that's fine. There is not one single right way to live life. So yes, I would tell my younger self that it will be okay. Class of 2018, the story that I have just told you is of course a work of imagination. The exciting thing about your actual stories is precisely that they are yet to be written. But in the spirit of writing your own story, I will ask your leave to give you that same advice from the imagined reunion of 2068. Know that it will be okay. It will be okay because you have the resources to live a life of happiness and fulfillment. It will be okay because you have people who care about you, including and especially here in DC, where you will always be welcome. And it will be okay because there is not one single blueprint for the good life. The varying definitions you will produce over the course of your lifetime of what makes a successful, good, and responsible human being are as individual as you are. And it is because you are individuals that all of us in this hall tonight are so very proud of you. Class of 2018 and the future class of 2035, I wish you all the best as you write your own story. Me and my long flowing locks look forward to hearing about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. We will now have the first of our musical performances. I would like to welcome to the stage Katie Chen, who will play a popular graduation medley.
Please feel free to sing along, you know it. Yeah. Give me a second, I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom getting higher than the end past day. My brother, she's waiting for me just across the bar. My seat's been taken by some sunglasses, asking about a scar, and I know I gave it to you months ago. I know you're trying to forget, but between the drinks and subtle things, the holes in my apologies, you know I try hard to take it back. So if by the time the bar closes and you feel like falling down, I'll carry you home tonight. every road you take will always lead you home, home. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. Oh,
Well, that was just wonderful. Thank you very much, Katie. I think that could be the first graduation where we've had an actual sing-along. We now have the first of our speeches by graduates, Ashman Vyas and Jennifer Allardyce. Ashman and Jennifer have been elected by the class of 2018 to speak this evening on behalf of all the graduates and to offer some reflections on their time at Discovery College. Please welcome Ashman and Jennifer.
Parents, in the next hour, you'll see this graduate. I imagine that you will feel quite relieved. Students, for us, in the next hour, it will finally become real. Before this, though, on behalf of the cohort, I would like to take a glance back at our time here at Discovery College with a deep sense of gratitude. First and foremost, I extend this gratitude to our teachers. Thank you for teaching us. Even though kindness, empathy, and respect have been our deepest virtues, I know how hard it was at times. Even though we were crazy, rabid, and difficult horses, you still led us to water. Thank you for guiding us, being our mentors, but also thank you for being our friends. Mr. McCann, Mr. Tate, Mr. Smith, Mr. Beach, and Mr. Muir. Despite everything, we still love you. The HEO, senior leadership, support staff, administration staff, cafeteria staff, and any and all staff involved in our journey. You are the foundation for the exceptional experience that we have had here. To you, staff, parents, students, grandparents, and families, thank you for your undying support. The last 2 years have been unforgettable. Our most basic purpose during this time was to learn, but we have done so much more. We explored different cultures, different cities, from Sulawesi to Siem Reap. We have reached out immensely to our local community through countless student initiatives and formed unshakable friendships in the process. But perhaps the most powerful bonding experience we shared was being locked up in the DP Center for 2 days to do our EEs and enduring together the unending onslaught of metaphors about the IB diploma, Mr. McCann. How it was a marathon, not a sprint, or how we were at the top of the mountain, and all we had to do was to push ourselves off said mountain. I will refrain from indulging in such metaphors or puns tonight, because I think, frankly, that you've all had enough for a lifetime. Especially for those of us that have been here since long before the diploma program. Our journey has been nothing short of magical. When I look back at my time as a student in primary and early secondary, what's most prominent is the patience, perseverance, and mental fortitude shown by my teachers. To all our primary and MYP teachers, thank you for putting up with us at our worst and helping us become our best. Each of us have had an experience here that has been in some way phenomenal. So tonight is a culmination of every moment, every experience, and everything that we have done during our time here at Discovery College. We came here tonight as students, but in an hour we will leave as alumni, having closed the greatest chapter of our lives to date and ready for an even greater one. Discovery College class of 2018, we've had a great run. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you all for allowing for me to speak today on behalf of the cohort. The role carries a great weight of pride and responsibility, for which I'm immensely grateful to have been selected for. To the 91 graduating students here today, our time at Discovery College has no doubt shaped our character in one way or another. Having personally attended the institution since the early days of Alchemia, the full 13 years have encompassed a wide scope of experiences which together have formed what has been the most significant period of my life thus far. So, to condense this heavy, Tolstoy-esque chapter of our lives into this little commemorative speech will be quite difficult, but I'll try my best. Speaking honestly, my relationships with some of you have been stronger than others. I've yet to get to know many of the students here today, but despite a lack of shared classes or conversations, I'm still able to appreciate and witness the collective growth of all of us throughout this program. Hearing about everyone's individual achievements has brought me so much pride. When I reflect back upon my fondest memories at the school, the people there and their impressions upon me are the most vivid. And I feel compelled to recognize some of the facilitators of such a fantastic experience. So to all the crazy kids who managed to find the time to continue to represent the DC Cobras, play in bands, study for additional requirements like the SATs, as well as those who coordinated CCAs like Amnesty and Kids for Kids, thank you. Thank you for somehow managing to balance the IAs, topic tests, and coursework to successfully find your own personal way to leave your impression upon this small community. And to my teachers, who were able to leave another lasting impression upon me in the classroom daily, thank you. My gratitude goes out to everyone who has contributed towards my experience, friends, students, and staff. I noticed Ashman mentioned that today was about completing the long marathon that is the IB diploma. But today isn't just about celebrating your freedom. To all the parents and family members here today, to the people who raised us for 18 years and put up with the secondhand stress of watching their child complain about upcoming exams and coursework, congratulations. After the summer, I hope you're finally able to bid your children farewell, stop putting up with their tantrums, and realize that today is also about celebrating your newfound freedom. Thank you, Mom and Dad. As this is the last time we'll be Discovery College students together in a hall, I thought it would be fitting to bid everyone farewell. So long for now, until I see you all out on Friday.
Thank you very much, Ashman and Jennifer, for those reflections on the highs and lows of school life. And well done for keeping your hat on through the whole speech. It's actually quite difficult to do when you've got a lot of hair, apparently. Now, we move on to the centerpiece of this event, which is the formal presentation of the graduation certificates. This certificate acknowledges that the student has completed high school and has fulfilled the graduation requirements of Discovery College, an achievement that is certainly worth celebrating. The certificates will be presented by the Dean of Year 13, Mr. Johnny Tate, and the Principal, Mr. Mark Beach. Now, I would just say that Claire is taking a photograph of every graduate, and you will be able to get that photograph off the website. So don't worry too much about trying to get your own photo. By all means, go ahead. But Claire has the best view. She will get an excellent photograph of every student, so don't worry. Our first graduate this evening is Nicola Adcock. Nicola is planning to study marine biology and environmental science in Australia. Our next graduate is Lillian Adon. Lillian is planning to study business and art at the University of Waterloo in Canada. Our next graduate is Jennifer Allardyce. Jennifer is planning to study law at Durham University in England. Our next graduate is Natsuki Arita. Natsuki is planning to study English at the University of Hong Kong. Those hats. Our next graduate is Sage Arzati. Sage is planning to take up an internship at a Hong Kong-based international design company before continuing his studies in the USA. Our next graduate is Faye Ao Young. Faye is planning to study psychological and health sciences at the University of Toronto in Canada. Our next graduate is Choban Bolog. Choban is planning to study computer science at the University of St Andrews in Scotland. Our next graduate is Annelies Beierbergen van Henegouwen. Annelies is planning to study European Studies at Maastricht University in the Netherlands. Our next graduate is Alice Cameron. Alice is planning to study health science at the University of Otago in New Zealand. Our next graduate is Jacqueline Asia Marie Camp. Jacqueline is planning to study kinesiology at California State University, Long Beach in the USA. Our next graduate is Oscar Campbell. Oscar is planning to take a gap year before applying to university in Australia. Our next graduate is Riona Karagai. Riona is planning to study policy management at Keio University in Japan. Our next graduate is Cynthia Chen. Cynthia is planning to study film production at Chapman University, Dodge College of Film and Media Arts in the USA. Our next graduate is Casey Chen. Katie is planning to study geography at the University of Exeter in England. Our next graduate is Howard Chen. Howard is planning to study engineering at the University of British Columbia in Canada. Our next graduate is Yan Yao Chen. Yan Yao is planning to study mathematics at the University of Cambridge in England. Our next graduate is Alex Chung. Alex is planning to study engineering at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Our next graduate is Danny Choi. Danny is planning to study business at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Our next graduate is Mitch Collins. Mitch is planning to continue his studies in Australia. Our next graduate is Camilla Conroy. Camilla is planning to study psychology at the University of Exeter in England. Our next graduate is Aryaman Dutt. Aryaman is planning to study law at King's College London in England. Our next graduate is Jordan Engelman. Jordan is planning to study forensic investigation at Coventry University in England. Our next graduate is Emma Eskett. Emma is planning to study game design at Falmouth University in England. Our next graduate is Carlos Escueta. Carlos is planning to study journalism, communication, and history here in Hong Kong. Our next graduate is Karis Phelan. Karis is planning to study animation at the California Institute of the Arts in the USA. Our next graduate is Nina Fujita. Nina is planning to audition for the Edge Performing Arts Center dance program in Los Angeles in the USA. Our next graduate is Tristan Ganal. Tristan is planning to study business at the Vienna University of Economics and Business. And he is happy to be here. Our next graduate is Arushi Ganguly. Arushi is planning to study medicine at University College Cork in Ireland. Our next graduate is Marina Science. Marina is planning to study global studies at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. next graduate is Anne Gasser. Anne is planning to study medicine at the University of Glasgow in Scotland. Which I hear is a lovely place. Our next graduate is Simran Gill. Simran is planning to take a gap year doing voluntary work at the Keeley Support Group here in Hong Kong. Our next graduate is Amelia Haynes. Amelia is planning to study philosophy, politics and economics at the University of Warwick in England. Our next graduate is Cherie Ho. Cherie is planning to study law at the University of Cambridge in England. Our next graduate is Gigi Ho. Gigi is planning to study pharmacy at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Our next graduate is Nathan Honovar. Nathan is planning to study humanities at the University of Victoria in Canada. Our next graduate is Ayushman Jairat. Ayushman is planning to study chemistry at the University of St Andrews in Scotland. Our next graduate is Sam Jewett. Sam is planning to study business management at the University of Exeter in England. Our next graduate is Kazuya Kai Ogogi. Kazuya is planning to study computer science at Imperial College London in England. Our next graduate is Tai Chi Ko. Tai Chi is planning to study in the Mendoza School of Business, Notre Dame, or is it Notre Dame, in the USA as a student athlete. Our next graduate is Trinity King. Trinity is planning to study biology at the University of Bristol in England. Our next graduate is Julia Klopchek. Got the family in then? Julia is planning to study medicine at the University of Nottingham in England. Our next graduate is Tamara Christensen. Tamara is planning to study politics, psychology, law and economics at the University of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Is going to be very busy with that lot. Our next graduate is Miyu Kurosawa. Miyu is planning to study psychological and behavioural sciences at the University of Cambridge in England. Our next graduate is Christopher Kwok. Christopher is planning to study either English or Earth Sciences at the University of Pennsylvania in the USA. Our next graduate is Juliette Lalman. Juliette is planning to study physiotherapy at the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands. Our next graduate is Sophie Lam. Sophie is planning to study human geography at the University of Exeter in England. Our next graduate is Chan Young Lee. Chan Young is planning to study aerospace engineering at the University of Nottingham in England. Our next graduate is Jamie Lee. Jimmy is planning to study economics and mathematics at New York University in the USA. Our next graduate is Subin Lee. Subin is planning to study physics at the Imperial College London in England. Our next graduate is Sophia Lee. Sophia is planning to study fine arts at the University of Bournemouth in England. Our next graduate is Jeremy Miller. Jeremy is planning to study social sciences at the University College London in England. Our next graduate is Trevor Lee. Trevor is planning to study political science at the University of Hong Kong. Our next graduate is Summer Lowe. Summer is planning to study physical therapy at Northeastern University in Boston in the USA. Our next graduate is Margot Mahmoudou Campoyo. Margot is planning to study business at Sydney University in Australia. Our next graduate is Kevin Michaela. Kevin is planning to study science and engineering at the Tampere University of Technology in Finland. Which I think is the northernmost destination of any of our students, even further north in Scotland. Our next graduate is Nathaniel Nandili. Nathaniel is planning to study biomedicine at the University of Hong Kong. High fives all around. Our next graduate is Judith Massman. Judith is planning to study creative media at the City University of Hong Kong. Our next graduate is Bailey Mackay. Bailey is planning to study economics and politics, and this is another one from the University of Glasgow in Scotland. Our next graduate is Laura Morgan. Laura is planning to take a gap year, then study CGI and visual effects at the University of Bournemouth in England. Our next graduate is Julia Morio. Julia is planning to study philosophy, politics and economics at the University of Warwick in England. Our next graduate is Jack Mulholland. Jack is planning to study aviation and aeronautics at the Airline Transport Professional Flight School in Daytona Beach, Florida, in the USA. Our next graduate is Kayla Munson. Kayla is planning to study history at the University of Hong Kong. Our next graduate is Nacho Narciso. Nacho is planning to study English literature and philosophy at Durham University in England. Our next graduate is Ria Nidal. Ria is planning to study fashion management at Nottingham Trent University in England. Our next graduate is Jessica Ng. Jessica is planning to study medicine at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Our next graduate is Vivian Ngai. Not so fast. And Vivian is planning to study animation at the Savannah College of Art and Design here in Hong Kong. Our next graduate is Annika Noonan. Annika is planning to study economics at the University of British Columbia in Canada. Our next graduate is Owen O'Grady. Owen is planning to study medicine at the National University of Ireland in Galway. Next graduate is Sam Osborne. Sam is planning to major in Japanese studies at Hokkaido University in Japan. Our next graduate is Ritika Padmasola. Ritika is planning to study human sciences at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland. Our next graduate is Kayla Poindieter. Kayla is planning to attend Hawaii Pacific University in the USA. Our next graduate is Chloe Sermon. Chloe is planning to study politics, economics, and history at Durham University in England. Our next graduate is Masha Shkarbanova. Masha is planning to study philosophy at Loyola University in Chicago in the USA. Our next graduate is Sarah Smith. Sarah is planning to study business management in Australia. Our next graduate is Finlay Sullivan. Finlay is planning to continue his studies in England. Our next graduate is Dylan Simmons. Dylan is planning to study commerce at the University of British Columbia in Canada. Our next graduate is Shirley Tang. Shirley is planning to study veterinary science at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland. Our next graduate is Jocelyn Tang. Jocelyn is planning to study social sciences at the University of Hong Kong. Next graduate is Rachel Telford. Rachel is planning to study sciences at the University of Hong Kong. Our next graduate is Sen Fotawatu. Sen is planning to study computer science at King's College London in England. Our next graduate is Felicia Turnberg. Felicia is planning to study criminology at Stockholm University in Sweden. Our next graduate is Diraj Turani. Diraj is planning to study finance at the London School of Economics in England. Our next graduate is Jessie Chung. Jessie is planning to study psychology at University College London in England. Our next graduate is Ron Cho. Ron is planning to study psychology and political science at the University of Toronto in Canada. Our next graduate is Izzy Van Ingen. Izzy is planning to take a gap year, then continue her studies in Holland. Our next graduate is Ashman Vyas. Ashman is planning to study aerospace engineering at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Our next graduate is Michelle Wang. Michelle is planning to study psychology at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada. Our next graduate is Wong Pak Hei. Pak Hei is planning to study veterinary science at the University of Adelaide in Australia. Our next graduate is Felicia Chow. Felicia is planning to study information management for business at University College London in England. Our next graduate is Paco Yip. Paco is planning to study international relations at the University of Nottingham in England. And our final graduate this evening is Anna Zhou. Anna is planning to study architecture at the University of Bath in England. I felt very proud watching all of you collect your certificates, and I'm sure all your families did too. You may have noticed that when the students came in, when the still students came in, they had their tassel and still have their tassel on the right-hand side of their hat. But now that you have all officially graduated, I invite you to move your tassel from the right to the left. Please join me. Phew, that was a mouthful. That was pretty. We will now hear from the Valedictorian. The Valedictorian is the student with the highest academic achievement grades across the entire diploma program. He will consider what it means to be a graduate of Discovery College going out into the world. Please welcome to the stage the Valedictorian of the class of 2018, Christopher Cork.
Hi everyone. I'd like to begin my speech by first thanking each and every one of you for being here tonight. Every student, teacher, and parent. I also would like to take a moment to thank the rest of the staff who have helped us get to where we are today. Of course, my high school education would not be possible without my favorite teachers, so I'd like to especially thank Econ plus Dal and Sal Khan from Khan Academy for being with me every step of the way. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here with us tonight. Today is truly a celebration of all of our hard work. We have officially graduated and are about to leave what is to many of us a second home. To this, I'd like to say, congratulations, Discovery College, class of 2018, and welcome to a life of uncertainty, challenge, and student debt. Yes, it truly is an honor, a very scary honor, to represent the cohort tonight. I I am now faced with the daunting task of looking forwards, trying to predict to the best of my abilities what the future has prepared for us. Now, the purposes of my speech tonight is to bid you all farewell on behalf of the cohort that is the class of 2018. But as anyone knows, before any departure, there must always be an arrival, no matter how short, and that is where I'd like to start tonight. Now, I'm a nervous person. Anyone who knows me will know this, that I worry a lot. I think about the what-ifs and the maybes. Maybe this is what qualifies me to speak about the future. Maybe I could be a warrior instead of a worrier. But what if the audience finds the pun terrible? The list goes on. On our first day of primary school, we arrived like little birds. I could go on about how birds are a metaphor for our growth, how we haven't learned to fly yet and spread our wings and soar into the sky chasing after our dreams. But we were like little birds, because we were loud and annoying, and we always had our big mouths open waiting for our parents to drop food into them. So I'd like to say thank you to all the parents here today, and a special thank you to my parents, who have cleaned up after my messes and supported me for the past 18 years. I'd like to apologize in advance for having you continue to do this until I'm 60. We'll discuss this later. Anyway, our first day of school, it was uncomfortable, it was abnormal. And each of us would have our own way of understanding this. Some would draw, some would play sports, some would read. My point is that we all cope with new situations differently. If there's one thing that I can take away from the IB diploma, it's that you're never going to know when all of your teachers decide that Thursday the 26th of October is the best day for all of your tests. Reacting to these new and unfavorable situations isn't a mystery. It's something we've done many times before, and it's something we will have to do many more times in the future. Some of us will be better at this than others, but all of us will improve with time. Now, throughout the course of the IB diploma, we were told that it was like a marathon, that we should pace ourselves and not burn out. Actually, I see it more as trying to catch a flight. The IB diploma starts with a taxi ride to the airport during rush hour. It's inconvenient, but it's necessary because it gets you to where you need to be. Maybe CAS cuts you off at the next set of traffic lights. Perhaps TOK pulls up beside you, encased in robust, shining metal. Perhaps EE revs its engine, challenging you to find a novel path through the 4,000 meters left until your destination. But you finally pull through, reach the airport. You reach for your wallet, but alas, it's the IB diploma. So you pay the taxi driver 2 cups of tears and a stress ball. Keep the change, you say. You think you can make a flight, but of course, you forget you have to go through security. You walk through the metal detectors while you wait for your baggage, none as large as the bags under your eyes. You think you're ready to go. But, of course, it appears that they found something in your bag. Scissors? Inflammables? No. It appears they found your ability to fully relax. I'm sorry. I'm afraid we're going to have to confiscate this from you, they say. You beg and you plead, but in the end, you go through with a handful of dignity and a sliver of hope tucked into the seam of your pocket. And to your surprise, the stress does propel you forward to the gate. Well, congratulations, now you've arrived, and with 10 minutes to spare. You seat yourself amongst others flying to similar destinations, and in that moment, you are united. Not by destination, because no one heads down the same path, but because you have experienced the same things to get to where you are. And although you've had help from others, this is your achievement, as students, and now as graduates. In the wise words of Mr. Abbey, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Well, we all drank a large glass of reality the first day of study leave, and now we're here after surviving our exams in our little arrival hall. And although the summer holiday will no doubt be a joyous one, at the end of the day, we will still travel to the airport to catch a flight, departing to wherever we need to be next. Congratulations, Discovery College, class of 2018. I'll see you around. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christopher. agree that for an apparently nervous person, he managed to produce a speech that was sincere, inspiring, and humorous all at the same time. We will now have the second of our musical performances. I'm delighted to welcome to the stage Gigi Ho and Jocelyn Tang, who will perform a classical graduation medley. Just in case you're wondering, we're going to get the violins, and they have to take their robes off so that they can play the violins. They'll be with us in just a moment. Here they are.
Jocelyn will play will represent our time before starting DP. Signifies our time during DP. Symbolizes our time before exams. next piece symbolizes our time after exams.
During the exams, actually.
Oh, sorry, this was during exams. My bad. And finally, after exams.
Well, that was wonderful. Wonderful musically, and also kind of like conceptual art. Now, at this school, we value many different things. We value academic achievement. We value giving students a voice. We value artistic expression. And we have tried to highlight each of these in this ceremony tonight. One of the things that we value most is the idea of citizenship, contributing to the community, both within and beyond the immediate school environment. We value it so much that we give special recognition to the student who has been the best example of citizenship. This award will be presented by our task coordinator, Mr. Peter Muir.
Good evening. What an impressive bunch of young adults we have before. Pretty easy to understand it's quite a difficult decision to choose one great citizen, one person who fits the attributes of a global citizen. We do use a criteria, and I'll just touch base on some of those. It's quite long, and the discussions were quite long about who to give this one individual. A lot of debate, a lot of thought. So I'll give you a bit of an idea of what we use as the criteria. It included planning and initiating activities went beyond participation in his everyday school life. It was about creatively solving known or emerging problems. It was students who acquire and effectively deploy knowledge and resources beyond those immediately available to them. It's working collaboratively with others. It's considering the ethical implications of their choices and actions. It's showing perseverance. And it's establishing a legacy that will last into the future. So I have the pleasure of awarding that. And the certificate is right here, and I'm going to present it to Yan Yao Cheng. Come on down.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muir. Congratulations to Yan Yang. I would like now to invite our principal to share his remarks with the graduates, guests, and officially congratulate the class of 2018. Please welcome Mr. Mark Beach.
Thank you, Brian. Students of the graduating class of 2018, parents, staff, and friends, it's a privilege to be speaking with you here tonight. Congratulations, graduates. This is a very special occasion, an important time in your life. Time to acknowledge and celebrate your successful completion of secondary school and your transition to life beyond Discovery College. A few months back, I received a letter, not an email or a Facebook message, but in an actual envelope with a stamp on it. The letter was from Emma, who I taught over 20 years ago when she was in year 7 and 8. In the envelope was a photo of Emma's older daughter, Millie, on her first day at school. And a letter from Emma in the envelope saying what she wanted for Millie and how much she hoped that Millie's school days were as enjoyable as hers had been. While Emma had gone on to become a lawyer in New Zealand, it wasn't high grades that she wished for her daughter Millie, but rather that Millie was safe, happy, worked hard, and made lots of good friends. First thing that flashed through my mind was how old that made me feel. Maybe that bionic operation should be happening sooner than I thought. And the second thing was that it just felt like yesterday. The third thing I thought about was how this desire for our children to live happy and fulfilling lives, doing the things they enjoy and surrounded by people who love and support them, is a fundamental human aspiration. 13 years ago, your parents brought you to school as freshly minted year ones. And I bet there were tears of sadness for some of your mums and dads, and perhaps for others, there were tears of relief. Throughout that year, those same mums and dads would have turned up for everything, be it a class celebration, or simply to see you playing a motionless, silent tree in a year one play. You may not remember, but every little thing you did was a cause of celebration and pride, and I bet there are literally megabytes of digital data sitting at home, stored somewhere in your house. So, to you parents, thank you for supporting your children in more ways than it's possible to count. You dragged them out of bed every morning, made sure they were fed and clothed, and got to school on time, mostly. You helped them with homework and listened to their complaints. You attended their school events, commiserated over their daily dramas, but also at times gave them enough room to work things out for themselves. As the years rolled by, your direct involvement decreased, as it does when students get older and demand more space. Yet your influence continued to help shape their character, and tonight, just as it was back in year one, is a time of pride and celebration. In 2008, Discovery College opened in this wonderful campus, and many of you were here as polite, well-managed Year 4 students. Your teachers that year were Mrs. Mortimer, Miss Cassell, and Mr. DeBar. And while many of you are still here tonight, so too are Mr. DeBar and Miss Cassell. In November that year, we had our opening ceremony, where the entire school performed a song. Mihu actually wrote a haiku poem that went, "We are one, but we are many. I hear some big noise, children singing peacefully, they sing, we are one." That sense of being one, but also part of many, has been infused through your time at Discovery College. That same opening ceremony we saw you performing in your house teams: water, fire, earth, air and metal. In many ways, it is probably that sense of being many that you will most remember about your time at DC. Your friends, your peer groups, your class, your year groups, your houses. You'll remember the students you shared a dorm or a tent with on camp. Those of them you collaborated with during the Year 6 PYP exhibition. The friends you worked with during CAS and CE. Your No Boundaries companions and many more. Thinking back to those times when you were pulled up or told off for something, more often than not, it was in a group. As with so many things in our lives, we are strongly influenced by the others around us. And throughout your time at DC, you have been grouped and gathered and referred to in collective terms, including tonight, the graduating class of 2018. I know that many of you are off on further group adventures in the next couple of weeks. The Koh Samui trip, Korea, backpacking from Chiang Mai down to Bangkok. And in the future, we'll be contacting you as alumni, another group where you will become part of the growing number of Discovery College graduates, and that sense of community will continue. I hope, however, that throughout your pathway in DC, you've also felt like an individual. Those teachers who understood your particular needs and worked to support you to be successful. The sense of achievement you felt in completing your personal project, your extended essay, those core parts of CAS, and the staff who mentored or supervised you. It's time to acknowledge many of those staff whose years of support and actions, big or small, contributed to you being here tonight. To your teachers, thank you for being so unselfishly sharing in your time, your talents and your knowledge with these students. While I appreciate that it was your job to do this, what you did went well beyond the call of duty. You gave up time before school, after school, over recess and lunch to enhance the learning that was happening in class. Most recently, while approaching and during the DP exams, you set the bar high, challenged them to live up to it, while also helping with last-minute advice, calm words, and, I believe, small packs of snacks. So students, while your time at DC has been told through a complex mix of group and individual interactions, behaviours and successes, it is now time for a new chapter. One in which you become the sole character, the single hero. It will be played out over the next few years at university or gap years and onto the workplace through friendships and relationships, sometimes hidden in thought but seen in action. It will be demonstrated through the sort of person you are and the sort of person you will continue to become. Earlier this year, the Student Council asked the student body to help define what makes a DC student. The answers they gathered flowed from and around our vision statement. And when I look at you all tonight, with such great pride, I would hope that grow, discover and dream and the philosophy of the IB are in your DNA. Grow, be the best that you can be. Act with integrity, empathy, kindness and compassion. That can often be an easy thing to say, but a difficult thing to do, especially given the fast-paced and anonymous digital world of social media that we currently live in. And author Daniel Pink, in his book A Whole New Mind, said that empathy is the ability to imagine yourself in someone else's position and to intuit what that person is feeling. To literally stand in their shoes, to see with their eyes, to feel with their hearts. It is a stunning act of imagination, climbing into another person's mind to experience the world from that person's perspective. you will leave here tonight with some of the strongest bonds of friendship, many of you, which will last a lifetime. Remember to keep working with them while you continue to develop new relationships at every stage of your life. Discover, find wonder in the world around us. Don't be average. Never stop learning. Never stop asking why. Thomas was a student in our graduating class of 2014 and headed to university in London. And at the end of the first year, he spoke to me and said that during that year, one of his professors told him to stop asking so many questions in lectures. And Thomas's first response was to ask why. It is that search for new knowledge and understanding that help to define us as human beings. And in this day and age, you know better than any of us how important it is to keep a love of learning. And finally, dream. Dare to make a difference for yourself, humanity, and the planet. And this is the hardest thing to do. Demands the very best of us. Hope, bravery, perseverance, and zest. It forces us to step out of our comfort zones. Way back in 2010, at the end of Year 6, Julia wrote, "When I grow up, I want to make a difference to the world, whether it is big or small, and try to help kids who don't have as much as me." If I asked Julia, or any of you, that question today, I believe that the answer would be the same, although the language would probably be different. I hope that your journey through the IB, including CE, CAS, and No Boundaries experiences, have set inside you a desire to make this world a better place. Perhaps not so much in the next few years as you exist on baked beans and instant noodles, but over your lifetime in both big and small ways. Let's hope that some of you find yourself on a stage big enough to have a great influence, proclaiming truth and fairness and making this world a better place. The reality is, however, that most of you will operate in a smaller space. Even so, never underestimate the impact you can have on the lives of those around you to bring about powerful change for good. The other day I was proofreading the yearbook and I came across Diraj's incredible reflection on Year 13. In reading it, I was struck by how close his words at the end of his school days mirrored those of Emma as she expressed her hopes and dreams of Millie. Diraj wrote, "I believe that the most important takeaway from the IB is not the grades we receive, the subject knowledge that we've gained, or even the universities that we go to, but rather the relationships we've built and the people we have become." Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the graduating class of 2018.